All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in. We're going to be reviewing and reacting to the Israel Adesanya Marvin Vettori fight, their first fight. Obviously, you guys are fans of the UFC. You're aware that they're going to be fighting here soon. And Marvin Vettori looking to make an upset against Israel Adesanya and claim the middleweight gold. Israel coming off of a loss. He's got a lot to prove to not only himself, but the entire UFC and especially the middleweight division. So I'm super excited to see where their second fight goes. And in honor of that, we're going to be reacting to their very first fight, an amazing fight through and through, especially for me being an Adesanya fan. So let's kick this one off, guys. Look at that stance. Immediately excited, ready. I love this. I love the attitude, the energy. Two guys ready to just get right to it. Already reading each other, getting some good looks. And Adesanya, very, very good at being able to fight with his hands low. You know, obviously, if you've got boxing experience or you train in any way, you're always told to keep those hands up. And for, the big guys like me, for most fighters in general, you keep your hands up. That is your defense from obviously kicks and strikes and blows to the head. So, when someone's got the skill set to drop those hands and their head movement and body movement and fakes are so good, how could you not love this energy? Immediately was able to dodge that kick, and I'm pretty sure most of this round he's almost untouchable. Let's keep it going.
Inside, then go to the body, and then go high.
When you look at Adesanya, you see the length, you see the striking.
Moving around, trying to get a good read.
We recognized him
untouchable.
Really
first true exchange, nothing.
Guy that could really help our game in preparation. He doesn't like the comparisons.
That he's you know how frustrating that has to be for Marvin, not being able to connect.
Tonight on national television, he has an opportunity
deflected
to truly separate himself from the comparisons. He feels it's a bit disrespectful to say he's
and Israel's going to let him keep getting his throws off, keep making him miss. Let him tire out. I mean, let him get frustrated and tired. Shit. Checking the body. And their first true exchange in the clinch. Okay. And Vettori going to sweep that leg. And Adesanya quick to get his back off the cage and hopefully push off to get out of that clinch.
He doesn't mind standing with him. He'll take his time. When the takedown presents itself, he'll take
not having luck on the takedown. Adesanya pushing on those hips, looking to get out, and he does. Beautiful, beautiful. Especially when Vettori's strong suit is going to be his wrestling. Checking him with that jab, keeping active, staying busy, moving. I mean, look at Vettori's just not able to connect.
If you can't touch him, it's hard to find when to throw and what to commit to. And that's what Adesanya's doing well right now. He's faking, he's switching stances, giving a bunch of different looks, using his hands inside
and checking those kicks and not only dishing them out. I mean, if you guys are obviously aware of Israel Adesanya, then you saw what he did to Paulo Costa and absolutely demolished his leg. I mean, wood on a chopping block, just kept attacking and attacking to the point where he was able to put little to no weight onto that foot. And, if you look on in his prior fights before he was even the champion, I mean, he executes that well. I mean, very good with all limbs.
You don't want to be forced into a kickboxing fight with Israel Adesanya. He's too sharp and accurate. He has too many tools in that facet of fight.
Adesanya will continue to switch stances on you. He says when you're not a confident striker, you force the finish. And
switching stances, he calls that bistantial. Check out Israel Adesanya's YouTube page. I'm subscribed to the channel. You guys would love that.
Unintimidated coming in here. That probably undersells how confident he was on Thursday, champ.
Yes, John. He was very confident.
Adesanya got the death glare. I mean, ready to get in there and kill. Keeping the head movement busy, giving great reads. Caught him a little bit on that outside there. Says he's good, keeps it moving.
Big
Love it.
reactions from him on those feints. They aren't small reactions. Look at that. He's drawing big reactions every time he feints.
And that's the difference. One person's using feints and the other one isn't.
Yeah.
As you can tell, as Adesanya comes in, Vettori's quickly trying to escape. I'm sure by now he's starting to feel the force of those stiff jabs, those body shots. I mean, they're all starting to kind of pile on top of each other. Not even the end of the first round, and you can tell Vettori is clearly gassed, looking for a break, and he keeps not getting one. Connect into the, and he gets him in the eye, but right before, connects to the body in an amazing way. And when you're clearly down on points, obviously you're going to need that break, not only for the eye poke, but just to gather your thoughts and your stamina. Herb Dean, right about it. He does not waste time. He wants to find out how bad is it, how much time do you need. I love that about this man.
Somebody for saying, "Oh, I got poked in the eye," when they got poked in the eye.
That's why it's illegal, right?
It's illegal. Otherwise, we'd be running around just poking each other. We'd all be standing there with our hands open.
You have to keep them up.
And they're getting right back into it. Let's get it.
Yeah? Okay.
We remind you the new rules are in effect here tonight. Those fingers have to be pointing.
About a minute and a half left in the first round.
That hand is open.
And these guys are just constantly pushing forward, both of them. I love to see that on both of them. Connects to the body there.
Adesanya able to eat it, fire off a left hand of his own.
Firing off his hands, though, he's just not having luck. Where Adesanya's clearly striking at free will at this point. And anytime he throws a fake, Vettori's quick to check the kick or get the hell out of the way, you know. There he is, Adesanya dropping his head, almost doing a limbo through those leg kicks.
Throws a leg kick, he barely kind of slides back.
I mean, crazy.
Tries to attack the head, dips the head back. He's trying to set up his counter.
Adesanya getting some feels. Oh, and he stumbles on that kick there, even after checking it. That's how you can tell. Adesanya, amazing.
This is what Vettori can't do, though. He can't start watching. Like you said, Dom, he can't look in the mirror.
Well, he can't hit him.
No, he can't just watch. He cannot just watch Adesanya.
Getting some throws, 10 seconds left. Probably a much-needed break for both corners.
Oh, flurry at the end of round one.
Well executed. Adesanya, second round, standing high and proud, ready to go.
Round two. DC pretty cool to observe that dynamic. Adesanya and his chief corner between round
and
one.
you essentially hope that Vettori's corner reevaluates. Here they are exchanging
They feel like Vettori's biting
some words with each other.
They're telling Israel to take his head off the line when he throws his right hand.
You can see he's connecting a little bit, but nothing land flush. Goes in for another takedown, looking for a double leg, sliding his way up. Back on the cage, what we saw earlier in the first. Trying to sweep that leg, no luck. Is he going to push off the hips again, get his back off? There he goes, pushes off the chest this time. Which has to be frustrating when Vettori's known for his wrestling. You get into the clinch, that's your opportunity to really take over and score some points and make this fight about you. And when you're letting a predominantly stand-up fighter get out as easy as that, has to be frustrating. You have to question, where is he mentally in this fight?
Well, as Adesanya says, most everyone in this division is going to be trying to take him
And Adesanya's, his punches are laying flush, and you could tell they're stiff. They're connecting in there.
If you had a little bit higher level wrestling on that inside trip, you try inside trip, then you come back with a foot sweep. You got to mix up these takedowns on guys like this. Most people can defend the initial takedown. You got to give them levels to the wrestling game.
1-2 lands right down the middle for Adesanya. And Vettori is starting to get confused now. You see it in his face. He's like, okay, I can't really hit him. He's faking me too much, so I can't really throw when I want to. So what do I commit to, and when do I back up, and when do I go forward? That's what's happening. Nice left hand lands, and that's the third one he's landed, so keep an eye out for that left. But he's not loading. He's just touching him with it.
Man,
Too many
stiff
inside low
jabs.
kicks, man. That leg is getting beat up.
And the footwork is just apparent.
And you do see him start to limp because he's taken so many of those shots.
Oh, Adesanya.
Izzy, quick to drop the hands, get out of that, and then throw some of his own in a quick
Beautifully
exchange.
slips the offering from Vettori and lands a flush right.
I mean, Vettori has a good chin. He has a good chin. He's taking some.
And if you guys can hear Daniel in the background, he's absolutely right. Vettori
But him backing up and
clearly has a great chin, and there he goes again, dropping his hands, playing the limbo with those high kicks,
back when the head kick's coming.
What needs to happen is
and
Vettori needs to
not
make the
being
adjustment.
phased
Going
by
to
it
the
one
head,
bit.
going to the ribs.
I can only imagine how frustrated Marvin has to be right now, essentially being bulldogged in this fight.
Stick to the body by
Clear
Adesanya.
shots
Less than 3 minutes now here in round 2.
from Israel,
And it's all right on the calf.
Yep.
Where he's kicking,
and just
not kicking to the inside of the quad.
willingly
One
and freely
real hard
defending
check
anything
from
that's
Vettori.
thrown his
He
way.
gotta stop throwing that
It's
kick
so
because
impressive.
he's so low.
Good right hand.
Beautiful counter lands for Adesanya. Starting to find his range here. He says this second round's his wheelhouse. Likes to feel it
And
out
these
a little
fakes
bit
are
early.
just
Yeah, he had to feel the
totally
speed.
on
Now he knows
point.
the speed, and he knows how Vettori's defending his
Keeping
offense.
him in
So now
control
you
of this
sit down and
fight.
commit to his punches a
Marvin's
little bit
fighting
more.
Israel's fight at this point.
He's got some respect too.
And as you can see, he's keeping good
If
control
Vettori
of the
didn't
center of that
respect Vettori,
octagon.
he respects him now.
That was
Gets hit with an
yeah,
elbow
that
and
was legal.
maybe thinks
And he
it's
thought it was
illegal.
illegal.
I'm
He
not
only said
confused.
that because he was hurt.
Oh, Israel showing. Yeah, I hit you with my elbow. Let's get it. He's frustrated. So as you see, Vettori quick to throw up the double middle fingers. He's clearly upset about the elbow. I'm guessing he thought that was an illegal blow. And then you kind of see Israel showing him like, yeah, I hit you with that elbow. At this point, Vettori's clearly losing the fight. I would assume he's acknowledging that and hopefully formulating a game plan on what he needs to do next, because this ain't it.
To showboat a little bit.
Vettori needs to get
Just,
forward pressure and just
man,
attack.
he's smacking him with body
He's got
shots.
to be the
He's
bully,
limping,
the
his
bully,
legs
like you say,
hurt,
the
his
bar-
face
Gotta
is
be a yard
busted,
dog.
and his body's taking quite a few good shots.
Because if he's staying at distance like this, what's happening? He's just
losing.
getting picked apart.
Yeah, he's losing.
I mean, the best thing for Vettori to do at this point is completely close that gap and attempt to get him to the ground.
He's got his pressure.
You got to make it ugly for Adesanya. You can't try to go skill for skill unless you're faking at least. Give him a different look. But only one person's faking.
Really amazing. The
Oh,
understanding
tries to
of
go for another one and quickly gets out of that.
Adesanya.
It's all
No
those
luck
kickboxing
there.
matches he's got. I mean, that's over 50
Approaching a
fights.
minute left in the second round.
Range, you get the understanding
And
of
still
what's
And right now he's fighting
predominantly
kickboxing
controlled by Israel this entire fight, last 2 rounds.
because he hasn't been taken down. He hasn't been forced. Rob Wilkinson actually forced him to wrestle more than Marvin Vettori has to this point.
At least he made an adjustment, went to the body on the kick on that one. Now the lean didn't work, but he didn't follow it up either.
Adesanya also, as he lands the
Nice.
spin attack there, at least partially draws high praise for his cardio. So
Hits the
we do
spin
get
kick
that
with a
good
good
final
body
round,
shot
whatever
followed
the reason
after
is,
that lands
Adesanya
flush.
would have that as an advantage.
Well, he's just nobody's
Briefly
really
folds
made him
Vettori.
uncomfortable yet. He's comfortable the whole time. He needs he won't
Keeping
get- he won't
control
see
of the center of that
Adesanya get
octagon.
tired until somebody makes him fight a different style fight.
Using
He's
those jabs to
comfortable
keep him
because
at
it's the way
bay,
he
those
wants
high
fight, so
kicks
he
to
can do this all day.
kind of control his movement.
Vettori has stayed
And his
busy,
fakes
but
are,
defensively,
I mean, they're
Adesanya brings a
untouchable
lot
at
to the
this
table
point.
as
This is
well.
a bulletproof game plan on Adesanya's part. You have to question,
With a quick check on
if
the clock.
Vettori comes out this way, when they fight for the second time, he doesn't stand a chance. Second round's over. In my mind,
This
This is a
result.
unanimous
Adesanya's
decision if
fakes
this fight
and
ends right
fakes
now.
And then comes over the top when the guard drops with an elbow.
Beautiful elbow.
timing by Adesanya.
Now I'm going to
He's-
pause it just for a second because I do want to touch on that. If Vettori attempts to come out with this same plan and try to play who's got the better skill set, he's clearly not going to win. If these guys are going to take anything from their previous fights and how they've grown since this fight, you have to understand Israel Adesanya, dominant in his class, goes up a weight class, fights Jan. They essentially keep it a stand-up fight. And I'm almost positive that Israel broke his hand that night, but that's neither here nor there. Until Jan eventually takes him down and realizes that he has full control. He's able to apply his weight in ways that Israel is essentially trapped, and does that enough to win the fight. You would assume that with Vettori's approach, he's going to have to do something similar, just based on what he saw with Jan's fight against Israel, but also this one. I mean, this is almost to the point where maybe it's an ego thing where these guys where Vettori is trying to kind of exchange with Israel, but when there's gold on the line, you got to come out with a serious game plan.
That up. Talked about it in between the first and second round.
And here we go, round 3. I can't even tell you the last time I've seen Israel scheduled for a 3-round fight.
On deck tonight. Let's bring in former UFC middleweight champion Michael Bisping and the UFC welterweight champ Tyron Woodley. T. Wood, we'll start with you.
Connects a few times there.
Backs up Adesanya there. Your thoughts on what we've seen thus far?
Well, Vettori did a great job backing up in the first round. What he did was he stayed.
But still not having luck with
as we saw Israel use fakes,
overhands,
head motion, footwork. He really frustrated and actually froze him when he was a still target. He used a lot of inside kicks. Those inside kicks set up a lot of straight right hands, and then he got to the point
Marvin can't even set anything up. He's just not having that shot.
You see Vettori
goes in for another takedown.
He could be down 2 rounds.
It's a sprawl. Let's see what happens here. And he gets on top. There we go.
He never locked his hands on the defense and was defended quite well.
Now he's going to have to continue making passes here and get into a position where he's obviously able to control the remainder of this round.
He's got the takedown. Now it's going to be interesting because we finally see Adesanya on the back. We know about the kickboxing, but what can he do? Vettori's passed to half guard. I see him maybe passing to mount in a minute, and it could be disastrous for Adesanya. Let's see the ground game. Let's see what he's got, because I'll be honest, so far it looks like he doesn't have much. He's pushing on the fence. We're not seeing a full.
Neither of these guys making a whole lot of movement.
Him attempting to get back to the feet. He looks like a duck out of water right now.
But
of course,
let's see where this goes. And there we go. Starting to see some exchange now. A little bit of the ground and pound.
Chest to chest. He doesn't want to give him space to get back up. But Vettori has to work.
And this is where you see Israel, he's going to get it in this. Okay, so he's got him in the guard. He's going to hold him close. Obviously, you got to respect your opponent and understand that he can do some serious damage here.
He worked that hard to get that takedown. It's too difficult to secure the takedown. Look at that. Now he's back up.
So Adesanya worked hard to get back to the canvas here.
That was a lateral drop attempt.
That was a 54 and 0.
Oh my
54 and 7 kickboxing throwing a lateral drop.
Oh my goodness.
These look like 2 drunk dudes. Let's watch this again.
That was a 54 and 0.
Oh my
54 and 7 kickboxing throwing a lateral drop.
Look at them. 2 drunk bastards just wobbling out the bar. Fighting in your hole in the wall.
The timing was there, just the technique was a little.
They got to be gassed. These guys have just been going straight forward this entire fight. Back into the same clinch. Is he going to push off, get his back off the cage? You'd imagine, but it's late in the fight. Neither of these guys used to making the 5 rounds at this point in their career. Herb Dean telling him, get busy. I want to see something. Both looking to catch some breath, but Vettori's got to make something shake here. Doesn't have much time left, about 1:50. And I don't think points are going to be his only escape right here. You have to see some Israel using that cage to get himself back up, hold him up, back to his feet. Herb Dean wants some action. Looking to dip down and make a move. Back onto the cage.
John, you got to think this should have been the approach of Vettori from round 1. Getting close, wearing on him.
And he splits him up. Wow, that was fast.
Quite agree with the stoppage already, right?
You would assume, especially with this being Vettori's really only shot at securing points or the win by knockout, TKO, whatever it may be, his only shot would be in a position of the clinch or getting him back down to the ground. So to break that up with only 1:13 left, essentially takes Vettori's plan and throws it out the window. Let's see what happens next.
feet. Let him work in there. He may go
Keeping those hands up, keeping that guard up. He's probably tired of getting punched on, getting bulldogged.
We need to laud the cardio of Marvin Vettori as well, because at times it has plagued him in the UFC. He has trained hard. He's ready to go 3 hard 5s tonight.
Vittori showed a lot of stuff on Adesanya we hadn't seen. He brought a fight to Adesanya that we hadn't seen compared to the last fight. So it's good. Vittori's fighting well. He's just not. He's a little outmatched in the technique here. A lot outmatched in the technique and the striking. But when he adds the grappling, he's okay. But he only has done that for 1 round. So he's
So let's see how they handle it here. Nice knee to the body. He's leaking at this point. I mean, he's chewed up.
And because he's going forward, he's actually landing shots in the striking.
Whether it's the first or third, Israel's essentially moved the same way this entire fight. Good fakes. You know, obviously see he's getting touched a little bit more, but still doing a good job of bobbing that head and throwing those fakes here. And this fight's winding down.
So for the first time in Israel Adesanya's 13 fight,
Got to respect the sportsmanship. Both of these guys standing here at the end.
On the judges to get his hand raised tonight.
I think it's evident. Obviously, you know, I know who takes this fight, but it's an evident win here.
Look at the uppercut of Adesanya right there, shifting out of position. Then from feigning over and over again, he landed an elbow over the top.
Beautiful shots.
He hurt Vettori. Great fight.
All right, the official decision is now in. It resides with Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen,
here we go.
Rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Derek Cleary scores the contest 29-28 Adesanya. Chris Lee scores
Wait, what? Is this not going to be unanimous?
Vettori. And Chris Hayes scores the contest.
What fucking fight are you watching?
The winner by split decision, Israel.
Oh man, he's mad. Dude, what are you mad for, bro? He thought he should have won that. That's insane. Oh, man. All right, guys. You guys let me know what your predictions are down below. Just so you guys are aware, this is my first time doing a reaction. I'm going to start doing tons of reaction videos to UFC videos, trending, you know, YouTube topics. But I also use this page primarily for my podcast. Now I have 3 seasons available. All 3 seasons available on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and most of this season is now available here on YouTube. I will be doing all sorts of content. Let me know what you guys want to see down below. Please leave a like, a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys soon.